Morning, everyone. Hoping you're having a great morning. It's Tuesday, October 13th. It's 2020 is almost over. Yeah, it's been a slow year, but a fast year with the quarantines here in Medellin. I'm not in Medellin, Colombia. I'm in Pereira, Colombia, which is coffee country right now. And I'm about to, I've been busy doing work. I also have schoolwork with my MBA that I'm doing right now. But one of the things I love being about digital nomad and running on my own business is I have the free time to do a bunch of creative things and everything since I don't have to worry about travel. I don't have to be in meetings that I don't want to be in. I just do stuff that's going to help me out and figure out. And by living here in Colombia, it's really cheap to live here because for every $1 I make in the United States, it's like $4 down here. So that gives me the ability to be really creative because I don't have to trade my time for money to keep up the lifestyle that I would like to keep and everything. And yeah, which kind of goes into to to live your great life. You can't be satisfied with a good life, and that goes into today's lesson, which is we're going to talk about Jim Collin's book, Good to Great, which is a fantastic book to help you understand like what you need to do to help go from good to great. And one of the best lines in that book, I think it's in the cover or first couple chapters. It's been a while since I've read it, but they talk about, hey, what is the enemy of great? And most people are going to say bad, but actually, the enemy of great is actually good. Because if you're always satisfied with good, then you're never going to become great at whatever topic that you're going to be at. And then he just starts talking about, okay, what are all the different things that these companies did to go from good to great? And they talked about Gillette and like, I think they talked about Kleenex and like this aluminum company I think it's called Alaco or something like that. Alico. I think it's called Alico. But it's like, okay, here's all the things that cause these companies to go great. And one of the key things is you can't be good. You have to be satisfied with great. But when it comes to being great, you can't be great in a bunch of different things. So in that book, he talks about that there's two different mindsets that people have. There's hedgehogs and there's wolves. So wolves are good at everything. They think about everything, but hedgehogs are good at one thing and they just like are really focused on that thing. And so to help you understand what are the three things that help you be great in your area has to come from three different factors. So the first factor is can I be really great at it? Like you might like for me, I love basketball. I wish I could play it, but like my back is killing me. My knee hurts. I got plantar fasciitis in my right foot. My shoulder's messed up. I do not have the durability to be a great basketball player. So, so you just have to realize that, hey, what is the one thing I could be really great at for the thing? So I decided like, hey, I'm going to do financial planning and combine it with self-development coaching. That's why I give you these lessons. So figure out what can you be great at. And then the other thing that you want to focus on is like, what can I be profitable at? And then I forgot the other one, the hedgehog concept. Good thing there's Google and everything. Oh, and then what are you deeply passionate about? Those are the three things that you need to help you figure out what can you be great at. So what can you be world class at? What are you deeply passionate about? And what can you do to what can you do to make money in that area? Yeah, you could be the best at underwater basket weaving and everything, but you're probably not going to make a good living. You can be great at it, but you got to figure out like what is it actually worth and everything. Like what is the economic engine that's going to help propel you forward? But like to help you be great, you really have to focus on one big thing. And then it also talks about you want big, audacious goals, big, hairy goals, go after those because like those are challenging. But if you accomplish those big, audacious goals, then you're going to become great. Like if you look at Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and a bunch of other people, they had big, audacious goals. Like, hey, Jeff Bezos, like, hey, I want to create an online store that has everything inside of it. And he decided, like, I'm going to start with books first because there's a million plus different books that people could buy. But but a bookstore only has a fraction of that amount. So he's like, okay, I'm going to have every bookstore. And then he went into CDs and music and all these other things. Now you can get pretty much anything on Amazon. If you look at Elon Musk, he was like, hey, I want to start my own spaceship company. That's a big, audacious goal. You're like, oh, I'm going to go against NASA and their thing. And he just looked at the individual pieces like, hey, it's costing X amount of money to build a spaceship through NASA. What if I could do it at a fraction of the cost? And that's what he did. And he had a lot of struggles. I think he faced bankruptcy like 3 different times while he was launching SpaceX and everything. So a lot of stress to get that off the ground. But it's a big, audacious goal that is going to help him be great in the area that he wants to be great at. And he doesn't have a physics degree. He just focused like, I'm deeply passionate, so I'm going to read these textbooks. I'm not going to pay tuition to go to college to learn these things. I'm going to read these textbooks and learn my own and work 80-hour weeks. And that's what he loves to do and wants to do. So, hey, so be it. He's living his best life. And that's what life is about, is living your best life and figure out what is the way to design your best life and what you want to accomplish and what's going to give you meaning and purpose and everything. And then when you're doing your big, audacious goals, then you want to make sure you have the right team on board. So in that book, they talk about you want to have the right people on the bus. If you're going north, you don't want people on the bus that want to go south, because that's going to create a lot of hostility and it's going to slow you down and everything. But if you get the right people on the bus, then you can all use your energy to move forward towards the goal that you really want to go after. So make sure people aren't on board, then you probably want to like try to get them off the bus as fast as possible, or try to convince them at first. But if they can't, it's definitely best to get them off the bus, because it's just going to slow you down and it's going to cause a lot of inefficiencies. Things in business, they say, is you want to hire slow but fire fast, because hiring is pretty expensive. It takes a lot of time and everything. But if you want to be great, you got to have the right team. There's a African proverb that says, like, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go as a team. So you want to make sure you have the right team and everyone is on the right bus. And then the last thing you talked about in Good to Great, Jim Collins, is like you want to create a perpetual windmill. So basically the windmill is very big, is very heavy. It's going to take a lot of effort to push that windmill, the propeller, to keep it moving. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of movement. But then after a certain amount of effort and enough progress, then it could be a self-perpetuating machine where it just keeps going in circles, because the weight of the blades, the propellers, are moving it in a circle. So you want to create a system that gives you momentum. I see that like there's a concept in Malcolm Gladwell's book, Tipping Point. Basically, is like, hey, once you reach this threshold, then you're gonna start seeing all those results. When he was looking at the Beatles and everything, he's like, oh, the Beatles did about 10,000 hours in these German clubs, and they became so good that you couldn't ignore them, and that just led to success on success, and then just evolved from there. So the 10,000 hour rules is something. And the key thing is you can't just do 10,000 hours. It has to be dedicated practice. You have to focus on getting incrementally better and everything. And you're only going to be able to do 10,000 hours if you're really passionate about that task that you're doing or that thing you're on. I love personal finance, financial planning, business development. I feel a big thing of this, it goes back to my childhood. Like my dad is an immigrant from Mexico, and I saw the opportunities that he had as a kid. And I kind of want to create a business. I want to create a business that helps other folks get opportunities to live their best life because like you don't know what you don't know. I grew up in a small town of 5,000 people, and if I didn't go in the Marines and move to Washington D.C., I wouldn't know what life could be like. And I'm also glad I read books and learned about traveling overseas. I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. Like people were like, oh, you're gonna go to Colombia, it's so dangerous, and then I'm here. It's like, yeah, it's been in more dangerous places in the United States. Definitely, there's places you don't want to be here in Colombia, but you could say that about any city in any country. Like walk, walking down in Baltimore, like or I lived in Washington D.C. Anacostia, and I lived in the Trinidad area down there. So those were not. I felt safe. I'm safer here in Pereira and in Medellin than I was in those areas. I felt safer, but um, yeah, you just have to have the right perspective. But this is how you become. Read Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, and that's going to help you live your best life. Because why live a mediocre life? Like it's not worth it. You only have one life to live, so I might as well figure out like, okay, how can I best enjoy it and everything. Yeah, you don't want to. I don't think going after endless pleasure is a good thing either because it makes us um, lazy and complacent and everything, and that's just not good for society. For society, a lot of countries' downfalls have become because of complacency and everything. People feel entitled to things, but just realize like the success is never owned; it's only rented, and the rent is due every day. And that's something I keep in mind. It's like, okay, what can I do to pay my rent for the day? How can I earn my keep on this planet? But those are my lessons, my key takeaways from that book, Good to Great by Jim Collins. Highly recommend you read that book if you're in a business or you have a passion project that you really want to get into that can really help you out. If you have questions, just let me know about Good to Great. So if you're just getting on, basically the enemy of great is not bad, it's good, because if you're always satisfied with good, you're never going to be great. And so if you want to be great, you can't be great in a bunch of different areas. You have to figure out what are your top three, top five at most things that you want to be great at and just focus on that. And the way you should ideally focus on that is figure out, okay, what is the thing I'm truly passionate about? What can I be world class at? And what can give me the economic resources I need to help me be in this area? Then you want to have the right team on the bus, and then you also want to just keep going, keep generating momentum, because after enough momentum, then you're going to have that perpetual machine that's going to help the product. You're still going to have to do maintenance and everything and look at potential upcoming threats, but that's really going to help you out. So hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Tomorrow we're going to talk about something personal development wise, I mean, personal finance wise, financial planning wise, but keep reading, keep learning, and enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, if you go with Joe, you can grow with Joe, because Joe knows Joe. All right, take care.